I think I've got more Warhammer fans in our chat. So, well, we'll do the Warhammer video. Because I'm curious. Because, like I said, I'm really curious how someone from Games Workshop is going to try and justify the female Custodes when female Custodes are not a thing. So I'm curious. So let's find out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So today we're going to be talking about some drama involving the Warhammer franchise and its related community. Now, this is a very successful franchise enjoyed by millions across the world. However, over the past year or so, its community has been plagued by a singular issue, a set of drama involving one concept, and that is whether or not female Custodes are canon to the lore or not. And recently we've seen another set of statements made by people attached to this franchise, which has sparked up.
Wait, Warhammer 40k writer claims female Adeptus Custodes still canon despite international male-gendered language in his own work. Oh, despite intentional male-gendered language in his own work. Huh. Interesting.
Up this debate once again and led to a lot of toxicity and confusion as well. Now, when it comes to this issue, the whole background of it, there's really only two camps when it comes to this stuff, right? You have the one camp that says, based on the lore, there's no mention of female Custodes, and any claim that there are is, of course, a retcon.
Heresy.
And then there's the other camp, which unfortunately is...
No, Rez. Any mention of is not a retcon. It is heresy. Am I right, Space Marines? It is not a retcon, it is heresy.
Comprised of the usual suspects on Twitter, they say no, female Custodes have always been a part of the lore, and they base that off of, well, their own headcanon because there's nothing they can point to in the established lore that supports what they are saying.
Okay, Adeptus Sororitas. Now, Eki, for the Warhammer 40k ignorant, i.e. me, what are the Sororitas, and are they not different from Custodes? Yeah, like you guys have mentioned, and I'm vaguely aware of the Sisters of Battle. I'm right, it's a female equivalent, but it is not a Custode. It's, you know, it's like a counterpart. But Tysel, you're saying that the Adeptus Sororitas are the Sisters of Silence. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's like if there is an equivalent female branch, i.e. what you guys are talking about, that's fine. That's like, I don't think anybody would have any issue with there being a female counterpart for the Custodes. Nobody has an issue with that, and I'm guessing probably a lot of people are probably big fans of that. I don't know, are they considered a faction or a unit? I don't know what their designation is in that respect. I'm sure a lot of people are big fans of them. What? Sister Battle, Sister Silence, and other factions, humanity, also with females, like Adeptus Mechanicus or the Inquisitors, and let's not forget the Imperial Guardsmen, but they aren't Space Marines. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is a certain group trying to invade the space of men, which we're seeing all the time. It is trying to shove men out of the spaces that they have occupied, and then deriding them for having an issue with it.
However, in a very bizarre move back in April of this year, the official Warhammer account, replying to a random user, decided to confirm this retcon by saying, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians, which is again confirming.
Chat, you may rage now. Because I know all of you, I'm sure keyboards are smoking in my chat right now in regards to respond to this statement since the first 10,000 were created. Yeah, McCargill, I'm very ignorant of the Warhammer lore too. You're in good company. Yeah. And I think that is the ever-loving point, is that there are some female sections or groups, whatever you want to call them, in Warhammer. And they are as popular as the Space Marines. The Space Marines are iconic because they put the Space Marines on all their merchandise. That's why Space Marines are popular. And so this is a group that is saying, well, we want a female character to occupy that space of fame like the Space Marines do, so we're just going to inject females into the male-dominated space because girl power. And instead of bolstering their existing female militaristic units that are there, that are, from what you guys are saying, are fucking awesome. Yeah. Again, this is because it is a male-dominated space, it has to be taken away. Because men cannot have their own thing anymore, it has to be invaded by a woman. However, chat, what do you think would happen if it was suggested to Games Workshop that, okay, put men, not that anyone would want to do this, okay? Let me preface this. Not that anybody would want to do this. Put men in the Sisters of Battle. Put men in the Sisters of Silence. Put men into these female-dominated spaces. What do you think would happen if they did that? What do you think would happen if it was suggested, okay, then you put men into these strictly female-dominated spaces? They would flip their fucking shit and scream misogyny from their top of their lungs. Kind of like how they're screaming misogyny when people are saying, you're out of your fucking mind that that there are female Custodes. By your own lore. They're screaming misogyny. Yeah. Which good for ye, but not for me, right?
A massive retcon, and what you'll notice is there's nothing to prove this. It's just, we told you so, therefore it is now established. And a lot of people were very upset with this because it seems to violate established lore. I mean, you can see many examples of them being referred to as infant sons when they join.
Yep.
There's also the use of the term.
I just got a horrifying thought. What if Games Workshop takes this and pulls a Star Wars and says some of them were transgender? What do you want to bet they may try that? What do you want to bet? Yeah. What? Leo, yes? But what do you want to bet that Games Workshop may try that? To make it fit. That people are saying, when they're going to be quoting their own lore back at them, they're going to try and say, well, some of them were transgender. How much do you want to bet they may try that?
Brotherhood consistently used to describe these Custodes. On top of that, you see them consistently referred to as men. It seems very obvious based on what existed at the time that there were only men who were Custodes. And unfortunately, you have people defending this by saying, well, it's just a fantasy related story. They can rewrite it any way they want. Well, of course they can rewrite their own lore
I have
whenever
no doubt,
they want.
I
That doesn't prevent it from being stupid, however. In this case, it seems very obvious that they did a massive retcon and then tried to gaslight the audience by saying they've always existed, when it seems like it was the exact opposite based on...
God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, I mean, this is not a retcon. This is not. This is them trying to say, do not believe your own lying eyes. That's what Games Workshop is trying to do here. They're trying to say, oh, there've always been Custodes. You don't believe the black and white print that we put out years ago and have stuck with for decades now. And now suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, oh, there've always been female Custodes. Really? And you're gonna try and tell us you're not trying to pull some bullshit? Cause this ain't a retcon. This is bullshit. I'm not a Warhammer fan. I've never played Warhammer in my life. Even I know this is bullshit. Okay? So if a non-Warhammer fan like me is calling bullshit on this, you done fucked up.
Their own established lore, and a lot of people did not like this, and that's really been it for the majority of this year because of that statement. And the debate, though, would get brought back up again because of this Marshall Bohemond video talking about what he believed was the death of female Custodes, and it seemed like, at the time, based on this tweet, that they have squashed the retcon. And this is the Ultimate Guide that was recently released, and he points out to several sections where not only are they referred to with him pronouns, but also, most importantly, they are referred to as a brotherhood.
The brotherhood.
Now, I don't care what kind of coping and seething you have to do. It doesn't matter. When you refer to something as a brotherhood, you are referring to a group of men. That seems to squash any...
Well, yeah, and that's what... And that's the question. Henry Cavill is doing the new Warhammer. I think it's a series he's doing now. Yes, Tysell. The question is, are they going to try and push the female Custodes thing? Because this is Warhammer 40k. Henry Cavill won't fuck with that. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, like, well, yeah, this we were talking about earlier. I think you mentioned it, didn't you? About the, you used, the formal title for them, which I think translates to Sisters of Silence. Yeah, you mentioned that, like, early on in, and I was agreeing with you. Well, Tyson, I may watch it. I may watch it, like, off stream. I'm not sure. Well, okay, Sanic, it's a little confusing. He started working with, I think it was Amazon, on a Warhammer 40k series, and there was a lot of back and forth, and they were trying to, as I understand it, they were trying to fuck with the lore. And supposedly Henry Cavill walked away, and Warhammer of the series was dead. Now, supposedly, it's been revived, and he's back at it. But we'll see. Because Henry Cavill is one of the biggest Warhammer 40k fans. That is his jam. And if they fuck with the lore, guarantee, he's not going to sit for that. He will not. He will basically say, no, you're changing it. And if they say, well, no, we're not going to change it, then he will say, fuck this shit, I'm out. He will walk. Again. And we'll see if that happens. In hindsight.
Sort of retcon
Good night, Hustler.
Involving this. And we'll see more copium about that in
well,
just
I think
a
he's
second.
working in a producer capacity,
We're happy to see this. There was a lot of celebration on Twitter. You can see articles made about it. People in the replies saying nothing will be missed about that set of lore. Nature is healing. I'm still not tired of winning. Good. Get them out of here. Doubt this very much. They were never canon to begin with. They lost. We won.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of people were very happy. But of course, when there's one set of people who are very happy, the other side is very upset. And they took to Blue Sky because, of course, these people are on Blue Sky. And they asked the co-writer of the Ultimate Guide, Gav Thorpe, about this situation, saying, are female Custodes still a part of Warhammer? And he would respond saying, yes, of course they are. Not every miniature is included, and I don't recall exactly, but we may have already finished that section when the series/miniature went public. DK didn't have access to pre-release pics.
What? What? But they just put out the new book that said there are no female Custodes. Rev just showed the updated book that said the Custodes were all male. What is this guy smoking? Is, like, he's literally trying to gaslight the concept of the female Custodes into existence. Maybe he's so brain rotted that he thinks that if he just lies and lies and lies, that eventually people are just going to, for some reason,
The
accept
copium
it?
is strong with this one.
Uh-huh. He's literally trying to just keep lying and hoping that eventually his lies are going to stick and people will say, oh, this is the truth. And he is grossly misunderestimating the Warhammer 40k fandom. The Warhammer 40k fandom is one you do not fuck with on the lore. You don't fuck with it. Women would ruin the Brotherhood. They'll fight with their battle sisters, but they'll never be a space marine. It's like, yeah, like, believe, like, I know this, I know, yeah. I know that this guy, you know, whoever the fuck he is, he's a writer for Warhammer, God help us all. I know this may be scary, but Gathor, if you're listening, you're probably not, because you probably don't listen to my stupid little string. Gavthorpe, if you're listening, it is possible for there to be male and female separate things. Not everything has to have both. There can be a male-only thing and a female-only thing. That is perfectly possible and perfectly acceptable. Even today, the Space Marines can be all men. The Sisters of Battle or the Sisters of Silence can be all women. That's just fine. Nobody's gonna get upset about this. It is okay for some things to be male only or female only. That is a thing.
And this is a very crazy statement to just make in a random reply on Blue Sky. Also, Gav Thorpe hasn't worked with Games Workshop in quite some time, so he's kind of speaking on their behalf here. And there's a lot of...
She hasn't actually been part of Games Workshop for a while. I don't know how long a while is, but a while. Oh my. So he is representing him. He's presenting himself as a representative of Games Workshop and painting them in a very negative light. This is not going to go well for him. I am honestly a little surprised Games Workshop hasn't dropped a legal hammer on his head already. I'm really surprised that if he's actually presenting himself as, it might be tricky to prove that he is, showcasing himself like he is some kind of spokesperson for Games Workshop. If they could swing it, they could drop a cease and desist on him saying, dude, you are not part of this company. Stop acting like you are. Do not speak for us. But it could be tricky because it could be tricky because the very legitimate argument that he could pose is he is speaking as just a well-informed individual about the subject matter and that he's not purporting himself to be a representative of Games Workshop. Because I don't think any of these posts scream out, I am representing Games Workshop. This is Games Workshop's official stance. I don't think any of his posts could be construed in that way. And unless he does that, you wouldn't really have a legal standing to do so. Now, granted, we're seeing a fraction of his posts, so if in any of his posts he's purporting himself to be some kind of representative of Games Workshop, then he could be having props.
Confusion caused by this, because essentially for what he's saying to be true, he's admitting that they improperly referred to Custodes throughout the entirety.
Yeah. Like, okay, Space Marines is not like a male or female thing. Space Marines is a militaristic unit, and in Warhammer, it's all about using appropriate military units to win a battle. So it's not about like, oh, girls don't want to use Space Marines because Space Marines are boys, ew, yucky. No, it's okay. Space Marines are your Warhammer people in chat. Correct me if I'm misconstruing this, but Space Marines are basically your hard-charging troops. They are your frontline infantry that will fuck shit up. And then you have other female units that work in support capacity. So it's more of picking your appropriate troop units for the most effectiveness in battle. So they don't look at like, okay, the Space Marines are all boys. They just look at it as Space Marines are the hard chargers. They are the ones that will fuck shit up. And you have other units that, so it's a single unit in an army. It's basically like saying infantry or tank division or, air support division or the medic division or the recon division. It's Space Marines basically just to like kind of bare bones, Space Marines in a way to very bluntly explain it would be like, okay, I know they're not, but the Space Marines are infantry. The Sisters of Battle are the medics. That's kind of how Warhammer, the different units are viewed by Warhammer 40k fans when they do Warhammer 40k battles. They don't look at it as like, okay, this is an all-guys unit. They go, no, this is the Space Marines. They do X, Y, and Z with this capability. This is the Sisters of Battle. They do X, Y, Z with these capabilities. These are the Custodes. They do X, Y, and Z with this kind of thing. So that's the way it's more viewed at it. Yeah. That's how Space Marines are viewed in the context of a Warhammer 40k battle for Warhammer 40k fans. They're viewed as a militaristic unit, not that they're just like all men. It's just the lore says they're all men. That's all.
Of the game guide, they got the entire thing wrong when it comes to Custodes. They misgendered them every single time. We have to believe that was the intent here, that they never did anything to stop that before it went out for publication. Very bizarre stuff, but I'm seeing excuses left and right about that. Some people saying that this guide was written years ago, and for some reason, they sat on it for like a year or two before releasing it now, and it's just outdated.
Well,
I've also seen...
I wouldn't call it a masculine series. Because again, there are stories that focus on the female units, like the various sister units. It's just Warhammer 40k is battle. Hi, Corey. It's all about battle. That's what Warhammer 40k is. It's about staging battles and trying to win the battle. So it's Warhammer 40k is about war. So that's what it's about. It's not necessarily a masculine thing. It's a series, it's a game focused on war. Does it cater to males? Certainly.
Cheer 100.
Certainly
I
it
checked
does.
Thorpe's Blue Sky profile, just to see if he's advertising himself as a GW consultant. He isn't, but his profile does have pronouns and more in the description. So make of that what you will.
Of course he does. Of course he does. She's watching, Corey. Hi, Emmy. You better treat Koi right or I will come for you. Just kidding. I hope you're enjoying the stream, Emmy. Yeah, it's... Leo, are you at all surprised by this? Okay, honesty time. Are you surprised that pronouns in the bio and more in the description? No, it tracks with what they're saying. Okay, Tax. Tax, run. For the love of God, run. We're gonna get dogpiled. Tyso, you took that much better than I expected you would. Honestly. I expect at least a comedic heresy out of you.
Claims that publishing for this took as long as 10 months, because apparently that's how long it takes to publish a guide like this. And all of it just seems like massive copium. And also, keep in mind, whether it was published in a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, they have said on the official Warhammer account that there's always been female custodes. And it's implied here as well. So wouldn't they always be referred to accordingly instead of as a brotherhood, which they are in that game guide? It doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, we're seeing this very, very important statement, a massive confirmation of a retcon, and the proof is basically just trust me, bro. It's based on this miniature that they're not even showing you. Like, where are the pics? I saw people on...
Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts, or it's bullshit. Or we call bullshit, and it stays bullshit. Simple as that.
Social media pointing this out. Where is it? If you're going to claim that's the proof, then why wouldn't you have a picture of it? Why wouldn't you have anything to prove this? I don't understand. We're supposed to just trust this. And maybe there is a picture out there. Maybe there isn't. Nobody knows, because once again, it appears that we're basically being gaslit into believing a claim that has no actual established lore to back it up. And it's pretty...
And again, it's lie, and lie some more. Keep lying until people just believe the lie. Because the lie has been told so much, people just go, oh, it must be true because it's being said all the time. Leo, I will wear that badge happily. Okay? I will absolutely wear that badge with pride.
Pretty offensive. A lot of people just don't like that. And it makes you wonder, like, what is going on with this particular individual, and what's their stake in all this? Why are they trying to push this narrative? Well, as always, if you...
No, wait, hang on, Zep. Maybe they have the female Space Marines be one of the lost ones in canon. There's 2 SM chapters that no one knows anything about. They were erased from the records because something happened. Zep, there you go. There's 2 chapters in Space Marine history that no one knows fuck all about. Why not have a unit of Space Marines that are female? Like, this can be done. If you want to basically sort of dovetail in the females in the Space Marines, it can be done.
Keep trying to insist my Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle have to be Space Marines heresy.
Tysel, I'm gonna be honest. I am shocked it took this long into this video for someone to do a Space Marine TTS. I am amazed it took this long. I was expecting Space Marine TTS throughout the entire video. I know you had to shorten it. Yeah, it's like there are ways you could introduce the concept of females into like Space Marines that could work without that could work. Second and Ninth Legions and its major heresy to even talk about them, so shut up. Nah! I am a heretic, Giger. I will talk about it. it can be done without breaking the fucking lore. Like, you could have a unit of female space marines that went fucking crazy because they could not handle the modifications. It seemed like they could, and then they went fucking crazy, and they were lost. And bring them back like, oh, they've returned or something.
There's a reason why they kept them separate, and it's not cooties. Cheer 100.
Yeah, I mean, like, it can be done. The big problem is it's not simply just that, a female space marine. That's not the problem, because again, doing female space marines, I think it could be done with, it could be done in a way that will not be lore breaking and would not insult fans of the franchise. It could be done. Custodes, however, are an elite group. They have always been an elite group, and they've always been men. So this is, again, DEI people trying to forcibly inject the strong female, strong independent woman
The lore
into a
reason is
position
something
of
called
power.
the gene seed. It literally part of the sons of the emperor.
Yeah, so do not take one of the first genetic treatments. Remember, Space Marines are not humans, just the protectors, right? I think it probably could be done if you get someone creative. God help us if those people still exist anymore. But if you get someone creative, it could be done without being lore breaking. But like I said, we're talking about the Custodes here. This is something where they've always been men. It's a finite number. And, like, again, this is trying to, they're considered the elite of the elite. So it's trying to inject women into positions of serious power. Just because women strong. That's it.
Look at the account of this Gav Thorpe individual, the co-writer of the Ultimate Game Guide. It just adds up, right?
Hey, I wasn't even looking at Red Screen here. New York Times bestselling author, okay, world creator, consultant and games developer specializing in sci-fi and fantasy, proud daddy, white cis het. Are you fucking kidding me with this bullshit? Physical organized for male space marine power is completely different from the armor of a sisters of battle. Sister of battle could not physically withstand the strain of a male space marine power armor. I mean, fair point, Aki. I'm just saying that, you could maybe creatively do it so that that there could be a female space marine, but not break the lore. As just like a possible, like a what if. It could happen if you have a creative person. That's what I'm talking about. But I'm sorry, when you put this shit in your bio, I don't take you seriously. Why do you need to put he, him? Why do you need to put white? This guy is literally trying to so what he's doing is he's like that one person we saw a couple weeks ago with the one writer who was basically trying to advertise to the LGBT, the DEI group to get to basically try and get them to hire him on as a writer because he's desperate for work. What do you want of that? He put this in there as sort of a signal. That's what that doing this is strictly for signal. It's attention seeking, either from a business perspective or a social perspective. Something like that. Yeah. Vortex? That's the feeling I get too. He's saying like, I'm a white cis het male, but I'm a goodin'. So hire me for your next project. Some bullshit like that. Yeah.
White, cis, hetero, he, him. So the pronouns are just like expected with Blue Sky. But this whole thing about like announcing to everyone on Blue Sky that you're a white straight male? Like, why are you trying to impress these wackadoos on Blue Sky? Like, this is a very bizarre thing that you have to basically do like a trigger warning on your account that you're a white man on the Blue Sky app. Like, it's
No, it's not trigger warning. It's attention seeking. 100%. It's attention seeking behavior. He's like we said, he's trying to advertise that he's a goodin. The white cishet along with the pronouns is him trying to say, look, I'm one of the DEI white men. Which means I will be effeminate and sensitive to your feelings. Please hire me. Like, someone that puts pronouns and shit like this in their bio, or if I receive any kind of business correspondence with this bullshit in it, I don't take it seriously. I cannot take it seriously if you are going to send me, either put this in your bio or send me an official notice, and next to your name you have pronouns. I will not take you seriously. Because by doing that, you are implying that I am a weak-willed little bitch that cannot basically that cannot handle either A, being wrong if I happen to say address you as one way and you respond with, oh no, sorry, I'm actually this. You do not, it's like you don't expect me to go, oh sorry, okay. Moving on. Wait, this is attention seeking. Putting ethnicity and pronouns in bio like this is attention seeking. And I will not take you seriously if you do it. Just so you know. Yeah, it's basically like a pick-me, McCargo. Yeah, it is.
It's very, very strange. And as I talked about recently, I find it really weird when people on their professional accounts in their bio share their sexuality. Like, this isn't like a thing that's like really that deep. It's more just like, why are you sharing that? Like, why is it the first thing you need to know about your professional account, your sexual preferences? It's very weird. I talked about this.
No, it's not. Okay, it is weird. It's they're literally making, instead of this part being kind of their quote unquote identity, sticking this in here is to basically make this your identity. Do you want to be known more for this than for this? That's what it is. Like, Gav has done stuff. He was he was with Games Workshop for a while. I guess he was part of the original, part of the OG Warhammer. I guess he's written some books. I don't know. So for the most part, a lot of people that like stick this into their bio, that's all they have as a means of like a self-identity. They've made this their identity to the world. And it's like everything else they may have to offer is a distant secondary. Thank you, Mario. Yeah, that's why people put these in. A lot of people I think that put these in do so because that's our identity versus anything else. Knows the C. He knows he can't say the C word on Blue Sky. What? What are you talking about? No, I don't notice it. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like lowercasing it? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about just because he lowercased it? In respect to that, I'm wondering if that's not a C? What are you talking about? Yes, it is. No, Rev's cursor is in the way. Rev's mouse cursor is right here. That's maybe where your confusion is. No, that is Rev's mouse cursor. That's not a cent symbol. It's just this is the I. It's his cursor. That's all. It's not a sensible. Yeah. No, he actually put C. It's not a sensible. Don't worry.
Recently, it seems from the comments, a lot of people agreed this is just a kind of a bizarre thing to do. What is this? A dating website? Like, why is that the first thing everyone needs to know? And also just listing that you're a white, cis hetero man, like, it just reeks of self-hatred, and it's like the most blue sky thing ever. But anyways, this whole situation is frustrating because it seems...
Wait, 9% job applicants have the selection if you made it mandatory? Wait, Kaibo made what mandatory? Choosing a gender? Oh, Silver, thank you. Don't need to apologize. I have the stream title that way because when I started stream, I had a bad day. And as always, you guys made my day better in 2.5 seconds. Selecting pronouns? Yeah, there's... most job applications I've seen are... Usually they have like male, female, I think other, prefer not to say, and some of them have even expounded even further on it.
Seems like this was a decision to try to retcon female custodes into the existence. It seems like it's a very
not
political
anymore,
decision. And a lot of people will say, oh, you know, what's the big deal? Well, they're messing up their own lore, and it doesn't seem like they're doing it because it enhances the lore or the experience anymore. It seems like they're doing it for their own personal grievances, so they can own the chuds on social media and things like that. And when that is the justification for doing these things, yeah, people should have a problem with that. It's a bunch of virtue signaling and pandering that absolutely nobody asked for. And to see so many attempts at gaslighting and how this issue has been dragged out for about a year now is ridiculous. What a waste. What a weird mark on a overall extremely respected franchise like Warhammer. And now this is what is generating the most...
more than respected. Space Marines. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Warhammer is beloved. Warhammer goes beyond respected in terms of a franchise. Warhammer is beloved. The fans of Warhammer 40k, like, it's basically it is beloved in the way that Star Trek fans used to love Star Wars and why they hate what was done to it, or the way Star Trek people like the Trekkers or the Trekkies loved Star Trek up until recent years in what they did to it. Yeah, it is. Oh God, there went my voice. Jesus. Even I could hear that on my end. Yeah, it is like, this is a fandom. Warhammer is a huge fandom, like many other fandoms. And it occupies a tremendous amount of space in their lives and in their mind, like other fandoms do with other people. So yeah, just saying respected is... I understand why Red said a respected franchise, but I know that it's elevated beyond respected to beloved. No, Alex, I said Star Wars fans used to love Star Wars and Star Trek fans used to love Star Trek up until recent years. Maybe it came through sounding muddled. I separated Star Wars and Star Trek. And fuck, I mean, there are Star Trek fans that used to love Star Wars, and there are Star Wars fans that used to love Star Trek too. You know, it's not all or nothing here, you know? Shut up, Tysell.
Conversation. The female custodes. And that is it. That's what everyone's talking about. That's the first impression of this franchise for a lot of people. And if 2024 has proven anything with what's going on with the gaming industry, with really any form of media right now, people are tired of the virtue signaling. You can impress as many people as you want on Twitter and Blue Sky for that matter with these sorts of posts, but at the end of the day, are those people actually going to be playing your game or not? The people you're impressing, do they actually have any sort of an investment in your franchise? The answer, based on history, is probably no. And these are people that are just trying to do performative activism on places like social media just to get recognition and attention. They don't actually care about the things they're talking about. And then you have the actual fans of the franchise who are now pissed off. And a lot of people, seeing what just happened and what's been happening over this year, they're done. They don't want to support this anymore because they feel like they're being lied to. They're being gaslit. They're being told that...
Well, not only that, not only being lied to and gaslit, they feel like the company and that the game that they have dedicated so much time and effort into, it feels like it feels like the company is shitting all over them, saying, "Thanks for the money, we don't want you anymore." I'll bet you a lot of them feel that way. Because, yeah, I obviously have not spent money on these figures, but I have heard plenty of how fucking expensive these figurines are. So a fuck ton of money has been spent on Warhammer stuff. And yeah, these fans are going to be feeling like, I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on your shit. I've spent God knows how many of hours reading lore, playing, doing battles, etc., etc. And it feels like you're taking all of this and just going, "Thanks for the money, now kindly go fuck yourself." Yeah, that's how people are feeling.
Things exist, and if you question that, well, too bad. We're the ones who created this story, and we're going to change something major just because we feel like it. And it seems like also it's motivated by personal reasons and political reasons. But yeah, that is the situation. Again, you want to check out Marshall's video here. I'll put a link to it in the description. You can check out the one from today as well as from the previous day. And yeah, this has been a gigantic mess. Once again, the entire discussion here focusing on all the wrong things about this franchise. And again, it's the fault of the people in charge, the people connected to various products, connected to Warhammer, allowing it to be the course reset
that's what I...
for
right,
anything involving the franchise. It's now all about female
Cheer 100 just have Warhammer 40,000 do a collaboration with Mattel and the Barbie franchise.
What?
Then you can have a Warhammer Barbie. Problem solved and the franchise is expanded. Smiley face.
Though, Meryl, I think some of your fellow 40Kers may take some issue with that. Ain't Kilting, thank you for the follow.
Custodes and possible political motivations. It's exhausting. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Despite how much people disagree, this is why the people who lauded your franchise and fandom just to show up when it reaches mainstream should be gate-kept from these kinds of people influencing the story because their personal projects are failure due to lack of talent and an agenda. Otherwise it always ends up like this. Cheer 100.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like, I don't like gatekeeping anything. But in some respects, it needs to at some points. It does.